Greetings, citizens of Nerdtropolis. Sean Tosh here, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and on this episode of Real Insights, my guest is the Office and Monk star Melora Hardin. Melora, it is great to see you again. It was a nice surprise to run into you at the Critics' Choice Awards, and I'm glad I got to say hello to you in person.
Yes, that was great. It's so nice to put a face to a name before you even get here.
Exactly. And that was my first time attending the Critics' Choice Awards as a second-year member. I brought my mom as a plus one for our first time attending. She had a fantastic time. How was the evening for you? I saw you got to meet everyone, but also that selfie with Billie Eilish was really cool.
That was super fun. It's funny because I knew she was a huge fan of The Office, and so and we are a huge fan of her here in our family. But my youngest daughter Piper is a singer-songwriter, and so I just tapped her on the shoulder and just said, that I was a huge fan, and she's like, oh, she like threw her arms around me. She was like, I'm a huge fan of yours and your daughters. And I was like, my daughters? How do you know my daughters? And she said, and Phineas goes, oh, you don't know the horse story? And I said, no, what's the horse story? And she goes, tell Melora the horse story. And Billie said that she was a camp counselor at a horse camp when she was 12 here near us. And she taught riding to Piper. And so Piper was 9 and Billie was 12. And I guess when I dropped her off, she was like, oh my God, your mom is Jan on The Office. And she said Piper was so sweet. And Piper was like, yeah, she is. But she was like, so sweet. She's like, and you were so nice. And I told you how much I love The Office. And she told you how much I love The Office. And you were so sweet the next time you dropped her off. So it was just really cute. And I was able to tell her that Piper is a singer-songwriter. And I said, she's got 3 songs on Spotify. You should listen to them. And she said, I will. So I hope she will. I don't know if she will, but
that's a great experience. And I know, yeah, your family is full of talent. It's wild. It runs in the blood, apparently, from both sides, and it's awesome. But yeah, that was such a special night. We got to meet Monk himself, Tony Shalhoub, earlier before it started, and snap a selfie with him. While I was visiting your table, I was telling Jason that before the world of streaming, Monk was the show that my family and I really sat down together to watch whenever it's on. We had such a wonderful time watching that show together, and what a wonderful cast, all of y'all, amazing. So we're so excited when the new movie was announced. I was like, wow, this is awesome. We loved it so much and we want more of it. But what do you think truly makes the show Monk that special that everyone just gets around to just love it together?
Yeah, it seems to be a really amazing family show. I think I've heard a lot of families that would sit around the TV and watch, Monk. And I think it's just his quirkiness, the humor, but also the kind of the fun of the detective work, and just what an eccentric, little guy, fun guy he is, and there's just a lot of heart in it too, and so it has a lot of warmth, and it's an easy show to watch. It's like, it's not a lot of work. You know what I mean? Some shows are so dark that you have to it's like, oh, it's a little too much. And some shows are like too, like frothy to, you have to. So this one just kind of has a wonderful balance that it's got heart, it's got humor, it's got mystery. It's a fun show.
Yeah, it really is. What was that phone call like when they told you they wanted you to return as Trudy in Mr. Monk's last case?
Oh, it was just great because, I love playing Trudy. I love working with Tony. He's one of the most wonderful people. I love, the producers, Andy Breckman and Randy Zisk are just lovely people. I mean, like, the whole group is just such a great group of people to work with and so much fun to work with. And Trudy is she's the heart. She's the heart of the show. And she's the heart of Adrian Monk. He really needs her to kind of help him stay grounded. Strangely, that she's an angel, but she's helping him stay grounded.
Yeah, such an important character, a beautiful way to show up in this movie. I loved it, and it just was wonderful to experience Monk in. What is everyone talking about now? Is there any opportunity to bring the show back? Is anyone saying, let's do it again? Let's all get back together. This was so much fun.
I don't know about the whole show coming back. That seems unlikely, but I do think that the fact that the movie got so much recognition, I bet we'll make another one.
My whole family would be excited to hear that because, Monk is one of those shows that we'll sit down and stop what we're doing just to watch. And like I said, this is before
Oh, great.
streaming too. So, that's how
Yeah.
special that show was. Right now, there has been a lot of buzz about your one woman film, Golden Vanity. And I saw the trailer and just, wow, you're a chameleon. I have not seen this side of you before. What inspired this film and this performance?
Well, it's, Golden Vanity is a one woman movie that's based on a fictitious character named Mabel Montgomery Mayflower, who is fleeing from the Golden Movie Awards, where she feels the award of Best Actress was stolen from her. And she's fleeing the police, and she barricades herself in her mansion in Hollywood and decides to record her life story to finally set the record straight. And in doing so, you learn a lot about her. She learns a lot about herself. It's both funny, it's tragic, it's a real ride, and it's 83 minutes of just Mabel, and so it's great. It's great fun. The two writers, Max Abram, who also directed it, and Taylor Minus, who also produced it, they wrote it for me. They had seen me in other things. They wrote it with me in mind. And got it to me, and I read it, and I had taken some one-person show classes over quite a few years, and my agent knew that and thought that I might be really interested in a one-woman movie. So he sent it to me and said, you should take a read. I think it's really good. So I did. I read it. I met with them, with Taylor and Max, and I just felt like, wow, these are two young visionaries. They really have a lot of energy and focus and intelligence. And I thought their script was so wonderful. I thought they were wonderful. And I took a big risk because, doing a one-person movie that's so micro budget, which this is, kind of everything could go wrong. And then I'm the only one there left on the screen to clean it up. But I had complete confidence that we were going to be able to pull it off. I felt like they were going to be great collaborators, which they were. I also knew that I could bring in some really talented people. I brought in Dina Appel, who's an amazing costume designer who designed that incredible dress that I wear. I brought an amazing hair person, Jean Weber, who did my wig. I brought an amazing makeup artist, Tanya Verna, who did my makeup. And, having those people, and then they had found an incredible DP and Bryce Fortner, who was just wonderful and really great to work with. We had to do kind of a lot of dancing together almost. And their production designer, also fabulous. The score is really, really good. I mean, all of the elements for such a micro budget film, I think, are just top notch. And so we've been doing the festival circuit. We went to 6 festivals. We won 7 awards. We've been winning, Best Actress everywhere we go, which is really exciting. And the Audience Award in a few places as well, which is a real sign that people are really enjoying it. And so this year's all about, selling it and hopefully getting it out to where more people can see it, on some streamer or something, I'm assuming. Something like that. I don't know. But if people are interested in keeping up with Golden Vanity, they should follow me on Instagram at Melora Hardin, because that is really where I am talking about it. And even if I end up doing something a little more independent with it, where we do like virtual screenings or something for a short amount of time, which I may do, I don't know. It's got a culty aspect to it. Like, it could really be a culty kind of movie if we could get it, rolling that way. So I'm looking at lots of options.
Well, Nerdtropolis is an option for you. I'm here to help support this. I'm dying to see it. I've seen the trailer 3 times, I think 3-4 times now. And I'm just like looking at it. I'm just like, when can I watch this? This looks amazing.
We'll have to send you the link so you can take a look at it.
Yeah, I'd love to watch it. And, maybe we could do a screening out here in Houston, maybe. I think there's the historic theater out here. The River Oaks Theater is opening back up out here. I'm not sure. There's a lot of venues out here. So maybe, back to where you kind of started in Houston, we can get something going on.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That would be great. Well, that's a great idea. We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, we need a Melora Hardin screening here, in person, maybe in Houston.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you remember most about being in Houston? What did you like most about here before you went away and took over the world with your talent?
Well, I've been back and forth. My grandparents lived in Mesquite, so I spent a lot more time in Mesquite because I would go there every summer. my uncle and aunt and some cousins live in Houston. But I did come back to Houston to make a short film that's on YouTube that people can watch called Screamin' Big Bad Fun. I did that with a Houston-based artist, and also some of it is my dad as well. So Houston's a great city. I mean, it's a bustling, metropolis. It's fabulous, and but most of my like deepest memories are really have to do with Mesquite and Beaumont. Beaumont was where my grandmother lived, so we'd go back really mostly from Beaumont to Mesquite.
But yeah, there's no secret you've had an extensive career, and it also includes the iconic role of Jan in The Office, like you mentioned earlier. Can you share any memorable bloopers or episodes, something that stood out to you that was just too hilarious or too much to deal with?
I mean, I've talked about it before, but during the dinner party episode, that was a very hot and very uncomfortable time to be shooting in the valley in a little tiny, little teeny tiny apartment where we had to keep turning the air conditioning off because of sound. So by the end of the day, we shot the little scene between my character, Jan, and Pam, where Pam is coming out of the bathroom and Jan is there. And yeah, Jenna and I we couldn't stop laughing. So that was really, really hard because it's actually kind of an awful thing when that happens to an actor because, like at first you're just laughing and then, you do it again and then you start laughing and then you do it again and you start laughing and then you're like, come on. And you literally can't. I think we were just so hot and we were so exhausted and it took a long time before we could get it together. So it was both fun, but it was also kind of not fun because. Yeah.
What's the trick of playing such a serious character? You're laughing all the time but you do so well, like playing Jan. How hard is it to keep in that laughter and really just get it tight?
Well, I mean, part of the comedy is that you have to have a great straight man to be able to make the great funnies. And, that's my job. I have to be the straight man and I don't know. It worked for me. It worked.
Yeah. You are the greatest when it comes to that. I will tell you that. You are the ultimate straight man. What did you love most about working with Steve Carrell?
He was just wonderful to be in scenes with. We had a great time playing off of each other. You could kind of throw him a curveball and he would throw another curveball right back at you. He wasn't ever miffed by things changing or trying new things or just, we had a great flow working together.
Yeah, what a memorable show. And that's one of the shows that, is iconic and it never goes away. But, beyond acting, I saw some of your artwork. And it's amazing, like really great stuff. The mixed media collage on wood and just so much, where did that come from? Because it's really beautiful.
Thank you so much. Well, I mean, I've always been a collage artist, but I think it got more serious in the last 6 years. I've been directing a documentary, and the documentary is about healing and women holding women up and what it really takes to transform trauma. And my subject in the movie is my friend Hunter Austin, and Hunter and I. We started sort of filming and it was very intense and we were doing all this work together. And then I had to go back to Montreal to film a season of The Bold Type, which was the show that's on Hulu that I star in. And I just had this almost like a download, literally, like I have to collage. Like it was like, I'm going to have to do that when I'm away. So I started doing that and I would send her pictures of them and they were kind of just dropping into my head. I wasn't really I wasn't trying to make certain pictures or certain themes or, they just were kind of coming through me and through my hands. And she would call me and just say these are incredible. And she'd be crying and she'd be laughing and she'd say, these are I can go inside of them and they make me feel safe when I'm feeling scared. Or if I had a nightmare, I can wake up and just gaze at it and it helps me feel safe and relaxed. And I mean, so for me, I was kind of I thought I was doing doodles, and then it turned into this thing that was something that was helping to heal her. So it had meaning, it had a deeper meaning than just making the art. And then through that, everybody that saw them just kept calling for them to be bigger and bigger and bigger. thus the line of wallpaper that now has come from those collages called Storyboards by Melora Hardin, and then a fine art gallery that I'd been talking to in Montreal. We just did my first gallery show, a beautiful gallery called Gallery Le Royer in Montreal, Canada, and we did a great like, you know, gallery show for the month of November that was really cool, and I sold a piece, and it was very, very exciting to meet my first patron of my big fine art collages. So it's just like, that's where you asked where it came from. It's a bit of a long story, but that's where it all came from.
No, I love it, and they all look great. I mean, I'm looking at, I actually have them pulled up, and I'm like just mesmerized by just looking at them. They're really, really great.
You. Yeah, people can find them people can look at them too while we're talking about it at melora.com. That's my website, www.melora.com. And they, you know, that it takes, I mean, it's a different time. And the thing about the big collages that you're seeing, there are the ones that I did at the gallery show are usually like 2 or 3 collages. So I start with a smaller one, I photograph that, I blow that up, I collage on top of that, I photograph that, blow that up, and collage big pieces on top of that, do all of the real gold leaf, real silver leaf, real copper leaf, and any kind of little, like, you know, I use diamond dust, and, you know, and sometimes glitter and that kind of thing. So I'll do all those little fine tuning details. So yeah, it can take a long time, but it also, you know, it depends on what you're talking about, you know, like each stage. You know, when I finish a small one, I feel like, oh, it's done. And then it's like, oh, then the second stage, and then the third stage. And each time you feel like it's done, but, you know, it keeps going. So, but, you know, I can do that third. I can get that once I've got the first 2 stages kind of done. I can do that third stage I can do that in a few days, like in a week or something like that. But those first 2 stages are quite labor intensive.
But it seems kind of therapeutic for you at the same time.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's just very, very relaxing, very centering, I really do feel like it's just sort of flowing through me. It's you know, and it kind of tells stories. The art tells stories, and sometimes the stories surprise me. You know, the stories that I'm telling, I'm kind of like, oh wow, you know, like I'm not like, I sometimes feel like I'm participating, maybe just by kind of picking up things from the ether, you know.
Yeah, they're all wonderful, and I must know, like, what else do you nerd out about? You know, art, you know, acting, but like, what else does Melora nerd out about?
Well, I mean, I like good food. I have to say, I do kind of sometimes nerd out about food. Um, and I have like a whole hand collection. So I like beautiful glove forms, and, you know, and so some of my collections, I guess I would get a little bit like, you know, like crazy. I love clothes. I'm a total clothes horse. I mean, like, I love clothes, and I do really enjoy putting together outfits, and, you know, figuring out, it's another creative expression of mine. And I've made actually 2 items of clothing out of my collages as well. I've made sort of a bespoke, one-of-a-kind jacket that would have to be made to order, that is like long and really beautiful design. And then also a skirt, which, if people do go to my website, they would see, they'll see me in my skirt, and they'll see me in my coat. I think
That's really awesome, and great to hear that you're a foodie. So like, when you do come back to Houston, we are like the food empire of the country now. Like, it is crazy how much restaurants are popping left or right. You know, we are
wow.
the place for foodies for sure.
Oh, wow. Good to know. Good to know.
And finally, I must know if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self starting out in the entertainment industry, a girl from Houston, Texas, what would it be?
Um, I would say just to, you know, keep expanding, you know, keep on growing, and I guess just for me, I think I was always expanding, but maybe I just didn't uh I don't know. I mean, actually, I don't know. Like, I think I did it pretty well. I mean, like, you know, I mean, I was always really fascinated to keep learning and growing, I had great teachers, and I had an amazing family that taught me the value of, like what really life is for, and, that art needs to be part of life, but life is like, it's important to be, a human being first and foremost. And so I'm really grateful for that. I guess, I don't know, like maybe just, I guess just the difference between faith and hope, I think, right? Like hope is hoping everything will work out. And when you're younger, you just want everything, you're hoping it all works out. I guess faith is knowing everything's all worked out. So maybe I would maybe give myself a little more, I'd try to give myself a little more of a break and say like, it's all worked out. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep doing your work as well as you can do it, keep growing and learning, and it's all worked out. It's all going to be okay, because sometimes I did fret a little too much, I think.
I love that, but it worked out great for you, obviously. I cannot wait to see Golden Vanity. So I'm going to look forward to hopefully catching that real soon. Super excited what else you're going to deliver. I mean, everything you're in is fantastic. And I can't wait to see more from you. So thank you so much, Melora.
Oh, thank you so much. It was so nice to see you. Thank you.
Once again, this is Shalhoub, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and stay tuned for more movie news, reviews, interviews, and trailers.